of AFC Leopards, one of Kenya's most storied clubs, will be heading to the ballot this coming Sunday to elect new office bearers. And as Lukman Mahmoud reports, a lot lies in wait for the new officials at a club that has long punched below its weight.
AFC Leopards, once a real leopard, its claws preying on opponents with relative ease, are now a pale shadow of themselves. Their last league heroics coming in 1998, that is more than 25 years ago. And on Sunday, the club faithful will be heading to the ballot to elect new leaders who they hope can turn around their floundering fortunes. Boniface Ambani, a former Kenya international who played for Ingwe when they last won the league, is among the two aspirants vying for the chairman's seat and is set to go head-to-head with former Leopards commercial director Vincent Enos Mutoka.
We have had issues with leadership in this team, and especially when it comes to accountability purposes. It's time to make it right, okay? Yeah. It's time to do what is right for this team from now and henceforth, okay? Yes. I'm going to set standards. The standards are going to be so high that anybody who might think of coming to FC Leopards to stand as a chairman or any post is going to be tough on him, okay?
Na tuko ready kwa kinyang'anyiro ni kuanza kazi immediately. We want to rediscover the lost glory for this club. That is the first thing we are going to do. And I want to assure my supporters that we are going to win the league this coming season. 61 years down the line, AFC Leopards has no place it can call home. Okay. We must make sure that in the next 2 years, AFC Leopards has a place we can call home.
Ingwe, as they are fondly known, last had a taste of continental football 7 years ago after they won the FKF Cup, but even continentally, they just made up the numbers. Therefore, is ending at the preliminaries. The issue of proper management, which has been a major undoing, has held the club from attaining its much touted on and off the pitch success, and it is a monster the club members will be keen to see tackled, and the solution lies in the men vying for the top seat after previous office holders failed to address the malaise.
Yeah, we need to get this team to continental football. We have reduced this team to a very small team, as if it's a village team. AFC Leopards is not a village team. When I used to play football for AFC Leopards, any time it was a continental football, okay? The players themselves have to work, and they should be ready to work. Whoever thinks that is not ready to work will start to pack and
What we are promising is that we want quality players, we want quality technical bench, and we want the welfare of the players to be taken care of. And this is how we are going to win the league. That is our second pillar, financial sustainability. We want more corporate sponsors for the club. Yes. We want more revenue if they are generated through merchandise.
Apart from the chairmanship, which was held by Nairobi FKF NEC member Dan Shikanda, voters will also elect Secretary General, a position being eyed by Robert Hamala Situma, Isaac Mulanda Mulindi, and Irene Sitawa Wekesa Irene. The treasurer's seat has also attracted 3 contenders in Patrick Kanyangi, Edward Buhasho, and Newton Luchacha. Pledge after pledge, they come, but the more things change, they remain the same. Will the new leadership walk the talk? Lukman Mahmoud for Sporty Monday.
Of course, thank you, Lukman Mahmoud, there with that solid package. And of course, that's going to lead us into our discussion. And today I have 2 gentlemen who want to be the next boss of Ingwe. But before I engage them, Ziti Jimoi is at the scoreboard with interesting statistics regarding the Leopard. Ziti?
Thank you so much, Swila. Of course, we are going to talk about the Ingwe FC Leopards, which was founded in 1964. And during 1964, that is, they were celebrating 60 years just last year. And then they have 12, they are 12 times champions, that is the FKF Premier League champions. Again, last year, they won the KPL title, that was 1998. Nilikuwa nimezaliwa kweli hapo. Major honors that they have, FC Leopards have, of course, as you've said, they won other major honors that they have. The FKF Cup, of course, 10 times winners, and then another one, Sekafa Club Championship, of course, 5 titles, and another one is a CAF Club Championship, of course, best runners-up in 1968, 1985 in the semi-finals. As we continue to talk about FC election, of course, in 2025, of course, the outgoing chairman is Dan Shikanda, and secretarial the outgoing secretary, of course, it's Caroline Walusanga, served on interim as a basics following the death of Gilbert Adunga. May his soul rest in peace. Again, treasurer, of course, Oliver Napali. Of course, those are the outgoing team. And then the election date will be, of course, 29th at Kasarani. That will be during the weekend. And 2,707 registered voters who are going to participate in the polls. That is, they are the registered who are going to vote. And then election date, of course, candidates. That is the chairmanship. We have 2 people that are going for the seat of the chairman. That is Boniface Ambani and Enos Vincent Mutoka. Those are the 2 people who are going for the seat of the chairman. And then let's talk about the other candidate. That is the Secretary General, Robert Hamala. Of course, Situma is going for this Secretary General. And then talk about Isaac Mulindi, of course. And then Irene Sitawa, of course, Weseka. Yeye pia atakuwa anapigania the Secretary General seat. And let's talk about other seats. Let's talk about Treasury, of course. We have Patrick Kanyangi, who will be going for that seat. And then the second one will be Edward Buhansho, who will be going for that seat. And then Newton, of course, Luchacha, will be going for that seat too. That is up on the Mtatua Treasurer Wenuapo. And think that is for now, as I take you back to Swila so that we can have a beautiful discussion and promises that the new chairmen have when they're being elected in the office. Back to you, Swila.
Thank you, Jimoy. And of course, we get right into it. This is Sporty Monday Quickfire segment. And as promised, I have with me to my immediate right, Boniface Ambani.
Hi.
An ex-international. Good to have you, bro.
Good to have you too.
You are very prolific in front of goal.
Obvious.
I hope when you get there, you can also be prolific.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And to the far right is Mr. Enos Mutoka Vincent. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
You've seen your package. You've seen basically just a reminder of where Ingwe are as at now. Probably I'll begin with you, Boniface. Why are you running? Why do you want to be FC Leopards chairman?
Oh, yeah. First things first, congratulations to APS Bomet for making it to the Premier League. It's not easy. Madam Ross, you have done a great job at APS Bomet to get this team back to the KPL. Congratulations to Police FC. So not always easy to win a title. So it's a young team that just came up, so we need to give them their flowers. Mm-hmm. Congrats to them. Otherwise, I'm here to make changes in the team. I think you've just seen Police, a very young team, coming up, winning titles. So there's so much to be done to FC Leopards. I've been there as a player. I've been there as a coach. And actually, I know that I have what it takes to get this team back to its feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll get into that. Mr. Enos, I'll pose the same question to you. What makes you think you're the best fit for the job, and what are you going to do differently?
Thank you so much, Swila, for having me this morning. And thank you to members who have entrusted us this responsibility as we go into the elections. And first, as my brother has said, let me start by congratulating Police. It's a young team. And all we are saying is that they are keeping that cup for us. First, I will start by introduction. My name is Vincent Enos Mtoka, born and raised in Bukura, Butere, Kakamega County. Schooled in Bukura Primary, schooled at St. Peter's Mumias High School, then went to the University of Nairobi and did journalism and media studies. I have been serving as the commercial director of AFC Leopards, and therefore I understand a bit about the runnings of the club currently. Why am I vying first? passion is what is driving me to make sure that we work for this club in a passionate way, because the position that we are vying for is not a salaried position. And therefore, we want to give back the community. And what is this that we want to give back the community? We want to bring AFC Leopards back to winning ways. And how do we do that? I'll be delving further into my manifesto to tell members what we want to do for this club, because I've been here, tried and tested in bringing resources to this club. And it's resources that are hindering us in delivering that winning mentality at the club.
Before you go into the financial aspect, I want us to begin with the technical aspect, which mainly addresses the playing unit and all that. Boniface, you've been a player. I think you've also served in the technical bench of other teams. From where you sit, the Leopard is no longer the Leopard we knew. Some call it a cat. You've heard of that. Some say it has lost its spots, it has lost its claws. How do you address the technical problem? Why are Ingwe not able to compete at the level they should? 98 years, that's 25 years and counting, no league title. The few attempts they've made at CAF, basically they've just been flower girls.
Yes.
What plan do you have to ensure that Ingwe can roar like the Leopard they should?
Yeah,
And how are you going to do it?
It's quite unfortunate that for 27 years, when you won the title for AFC Leopards, that was 1998. I was among the crop of players who last won a KPL title for AFC Leopards. It's quite unfortunate. Since then, up to now, nothing has come forward. So, what should I say? I think AFC Leopards has just been signing players. There's quality and quantity. We need to differentiate those two things. AFC Leopards has always been going for quantity, not quality. When you're going to sign players, you just don't go to sign. Just because people are signing, people are on the market, they are signing, you also rush into the market to sign. No, you need to sit down with the technical bench, with the coach and everybody, with the scouts, the scouting department, to analyze your team, to understand where is your strength, where is your weakness. So you will attack your weakness as you strength your strong points. So AFC Leopards has just been in the market. They hear Bandari is going to sign a player from Nzoia, they'll just rush. They'll go and sign the same player. So it's quite unfortunate. That's what we have been doing.
Okay.
We have to correct it, and we'll correct it. We get the right players for this team. Quality for them to give us what we want.
In the interest of time, I know we'll be having a live event live from Kwale County, but before we go to that, I'll pose the same question to you. And he's talked of working the technical bench to ensure that the players being brought on board meet the quality. But there are claims, and you've served as the director.
Commercial director.
Absolutely. Officials interfering with the technical bench work in player signing. Is this true, and how are you going to address it?
Thank you so much. First, I will start by saying that AFC Leopards needs quality players and a quality technical bench. And as we talk about quality players and a quality technical bench, their welfare has also to be taken care of. And therefore, the last about 3 seasons, AFC Leopards has been signing players who will say when the coach gives a list of his preferred players, he gives preference number 1, preference number 2 for a certain position. But the club ends up signing preference number 4. This is because the preference number 1 has gone to other clubs that are financially stable, but because AFC Leopards does not have the financial to sign that tier 1 players, we end up signing tier 4 players. And therefore, we need to make sure that we look at our financials, we look at our sustainability, so that we bring in the quality that we deserve. Because it's not, we also need to make sure that we allow the technical bench, the coach and his team, to bring in the players that the club deserves. And that can only happen if the club has financial sustainability to make sure that that player who is a tier 1 player, when they come to the club and we want them, the coach wants them, we are able to bring them to the club because we have the finances that they require.
Still staying with you,
yes.
You've rightfully put that you've served as the club's commercial director.
Yes.
Basically, this is your forte. It
yes.
really speaks directly to what you should have done.
Yes.
You've been there, this hasn't been attained. Don't you think you failed in that duty? And two, what's the guarantee now that if you're interested in the higher calling, you're gonna achieve this, yet you haven't?
Swila, thank you so much. When I look at what I've done for the club, I believe that I have done the very best. Because when I came in, I was tasked with the responsibility to bring finances to the club. At that time, the club was struggling with no sponsor on board, with no funds to make the team move. But I am proud to say that the current sponsor that we have on board today, I am the one who brought him in as the commercial director. And therefore, my KPI was actually achieved. What we need to do more is to make sure that we bring on board more corporate sponsors.
How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that?
I had a contract, which I've carried here with the club. I was given a contract that I won't be paid. I was serving as a commercial director with no salary. Mm-hmm. But the contract explicitly said that go out as the commercial director, bring in resources. And from the resources that you bring in is where we will pay you from. We will give you a 10%. It is explained in this contract. But
that's given, but from where you sit, how much have you brought to the club during your tenure as commercial director?
I will say I've brought to this club more than 200 million because Betika, which is the current sponsor, has brought to this club 180 million for 3 years. I have also helped the club to raise finances through fundraisings. I have helped the club to raise finances through other small sponsorships here and there. And therefore, I believe I have brought funds to this club as my contract explains.
Bonnie,
yes, sir.
I'm sorry because we don't have much time, but financially, this is actually the Achilles heel, because you've talked of signing first-grade players,
exactly,
running operations, having players live decently. How are you going to address this? How are you going to bring the financial stability in the club?
You know, FC Leopards has numbers. Huh? When you're looking for sponsors, what do they want to see? They want to see the numbers. FC Leopards has the numbers. So as my friend here, as a commercial director, I was expecting him to say maybe for the past 3 seasons, you should have brought in so many, maybe 3, 4, 5 sponsors. Because in football, you need sponsors for training. You need to have a sponsor for training. You also need to have a sponsor for traveling, medical, everything. Yeah. So it's a whole thing. Yeah. It's a whole package. So to me, yes, maybe I'm not very sure whether he's the one who brought the sponsorship deals. But at the end of the day, as a commercial director, I'm expecting him to have done more than that because this team requires a lot. But anyway,
but
we'll be there.
What are you going to do?
We'll be there. To me, first thing, in office, I'm not being elected alone. Yeah, there's a secretary general, there's a treasurer.
Yeah, but you'll be captain.
Yeah, I'll be captain. We need to sit down. First thing, look at where the gaps are. What do you do? What the other office didn't do right? What do you have to do right? What proposals? Which companies can you actually approach? And internally, how can you raise funds internally? There's the issue of merchandise, there's the issue of commercialization around, there's the issue of marketing. So many, we have to do so much. And especially we can still raise funds through merchandise. We have actually slept on that job.
There are claims, Bonnie, sorry for cutting you short, just in 30 seconds.
Yes.
Officials within the secretariat actually collude to steal from the club through merchandise to get revenue. This has been going on for on and on. If you are elected and you find one of your officials are engaging in this, let's say the treasurer or the secretary, how are you going to address that? You
know, the first thing, as I told, I've been moving in the branches. We sit down. On the first day in office, you have to state as a secretary general or as a treasurer what actually brought you in the club. If actually you came in to make money into the club, you first state on the first very day. So it's not going to be easy. To me, I'm going to deal it and I said, I'm going to take a bullet for the team.
You take a bullet for the team.
Exactly.
Vincent, we're out of time. I'm sorry about that. But in 10 seconds, I want you to talk about infrastructure. Ingwe don't have even a training ground 60 years down the line. Let's not even talk about the stadium for now. Let's talk about training ground. What plans do you have to ensure the club has its own? And what's the timeline are you putting?
First, I would love to rebuttal my friend when he talks about merchandise. He was actually given a contract by the club. I don't know how he acquired it, whether it was through tendering process or what, or on the basis of being a former player. He was given that tender to sell merchandise on behalf of the club. Actually, it was pulled away from him because there were claims that he was getting that merchandise from River Road and saying that it's coming from Givova. And up to now, we still have actually an issue that there are money that he did not remit to the club. When we talk about infrastructure, we are spending a lot of money on a daily basis in terms of training ground for the acquiring a training ground for the team.
Yes, how are you going to address that?
Whenever they train. And therefore, I have said in 2 years' time, we must make sure that we have more corporate sponsors on board. We must make sure that we utilize our merchandise to earn revenue for this club. And in 2 years' time, we must buy a ground for the club and then slowly start developing a training ground. And then afterwards start developing a stadium where Ingwe will call a home for the club.
Absolutely.
Sila, I'd like to respond a minute.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a lie. You go to FC Leopards accounts. I used to remit each and every single jersey that was being sold from my farm. I used to remit 500 bob to the club. 500 shillings per jersey.
Per jersey.
Yeah. There's a time AFC Leopards got stuck going to where? To Kisumu. I had to write a check. And every single remittance, I did a check. And I have all those checks.
So that's all documented?
It's all documented. So for him saying that I brought jerseys from River, I don't understand, yeah? Because this is Givova. I'm just wondering where you got the information from.
Of course, you can't agree on every issue, but of course, I want to thank you for making time for this. I would have loved this to continue much longer, but we have to cross over to Kwale where we have a live event. But that's Boniface Ambani, ex-international, and of course running to be AFC Leopards.